Hey everybody, Cornfed Lady here, and today I'm in the house with Dottie the giant goldfish because it's still pretty cold outside considering it's only February. But I am starting to plan our spring veggie garden already. And my husband and I came up with a little list of some of our favorite plants that we're going to focus on sticking in the ground this year. So then I'll be looking through some of the seeds that we already have and deciding what we need to order. So why don't you join us and see what we've got coming for 2025's veggie garden. All right, so the first seed that I'm going to be looking for in here is corn seed, because we do go through a lot of corn here on our homestead, and we enjoy eating the peaches and cream sweet corn variety, and we do try to save enough for the whole year. Some of that we will simply vacuum seal and stick in the freezer, and some of it I actually like to shave off of the cob onto freeze-dried trays and freeze-dry it. Now the freeze-dried corn goes really easily into dishes like something that's rice-based or chili or something like that. So we do like to grow a lot of corn here, and I might even try a little dent corn for the animals this year too. Next up is potatoes. Now we do already have some seed potatoes, which are just some old potatoes that we saved from last year that were maybe a little small and scrawny. Some of them already started sprouting in the basement. So those are perfect candidates for our seed potatoes, just to save money on that. We do like to have a variety, a mix of Yukon Gold, Kennebec White, and sometimes we even throw in a few store-bought ones. Now the potatoes are only good on the shelf for a month or so. So what I like to do with the potatoes before they go bad is to make just some plain mashed potatoes and then freeze dry those mashed potatoes. And that way I have basically homemade instant mashed potatoes anytime we want throughout the year. And we're also going to be growing some more carrots this year. I really like the scarlet nanties. They're kind of more of a reddish orange color, and they're very sweet. They have a very strong carrot flavor, so if you enjoy carrots, I definitely recommend the nanties, scarlet nanties. And I like to cut these up and freeze dry them so that we can enjoy them throughout the year. And again, most of these freeze-dried veggies that you've been seeing end up going in the stew pot or just in the crock pot. Sometimes I kind of just sprinkle them on top of a dish, like if we're having a roast or some soup or something like that. But the carrots are pretty easy to grow. They're not quite as easy to harvest, but we really enjoy them and the nutrients that they provide us with. Now, when it comes to green beans or just wax beans of any kind, we just started growing these last year. We tried both bush beans and pole beans. But here in central Illinois, especially out in the countryside like we are, we got some really strong winds. And our pole beans did not stand up to the winds, even though we had them trellised pretty well. So this year we're just really going to focus on growing bush beans. And we like to use a variety of colors. There's some yellow wax beans, green wax beans. I think there's some purple ones out there that we're going to try. And again, these beans, they can be put into any dish. They add a little color and flavor. They can be frozen straight. You don't need to like blanch them or anything first. So they can last through the year frozen. And we're also looking at getting a bunch of more tomatoes again this year. We like to focus on the 3 different types of tomatoes. So for saucing tomatoes, we like to use the Roma variety. They make a really good sauce for things like spaghetti, chili, barbecue sauce, things like that. Like if you want to make ribs, oh my gosh, it makes really good sauce for ribs. And we also like to have some slicing tomatoes. Rutgers is a really good heirloom variety for slicing for like on a sandwich. And of course the cherry tomatoes are the favorites of all of our animals, including us here on the homestead. So we'll be sure to grow lots of cherry tomatoes again this year so everybody gets a healthy snack once in a while. Next up is our onions and garlic bed. Now I did already plant the garlic in here last fall, so I'm just going to be putting some onions in the bed right next to it, or that's connected on the other side of the bricks there. We'll also be planting some salad greens, such as lettuce. My favorite lettuce is iceberg. We'll also probably have some spinach in there and some kale. I love the blue curled Scotch kale, so I imagine that's what we'll have in there for kale this year. We'll also have some snap peas trellised. We like the sugar snap peas because it's a nice sweet treat that you can eat plain. You can also dip it in a little ranch sauce or throw it on a salad. I do not recommend freeze drying snap peas because they didn't really have a very good texture when we reconstituted them. So we just mostly eat our snap peas fresh, like I said, as a snack or in a salad. I am looking forward to growing some more watermelon again this year. We have tried quite a few different varieties over the last few years, and I think my favorite at this point is the Crimson Sweet. It's a really large watermelon, but it's very sweet, it's very rich flavored, and we've had the least amount of growing problems with the Crimson Sweets. Some of the other watermelons that we tried split open every time it rains, but the Crimsons, being as large as they are, can handle the heavy rain once in a while. And that brings us to sunflowers. Now last year we had quite the wall of sunflowers, and these were called striped mammoth sunflowers. We grew them right along the turkey run fence, which actually helped hold them up during the strong winds. We did have a few of them get knocked over in the winds, but once we saw what was happening, we started tying the rest of the stalks to the turkey fence, and that seemed to really help stand them up and let them reach maturity. Now with the sunflowers, we can use the seeds to feed our pets, and of course you can try baking them or curing them for human consumption, but we always just give them out to the animals. And if there were any left, we could plant them again this year, but I think I'm going to have to buy some new seeds. We're also looking at getting some more peppers. We like to have a variety of different kinds of hot peppers and sweet peppers. I enjoy cutting up bell peppers into the dinner dishes. So I'm not sure which kind of seeds we have. We'll have to look through those here in just a second and see exactly which peppers we're going to be growing this year. Last year we had quite a few jalapeno peppers, which we still have some in the freezer that we're adding to dishes just for heat and flavor. And something new that we're going to try out this year is growing our own peanuts. Now I've seen this done and I've heard about it, but we've never actually tried it before. So this year we're going to try growing peanuts in flower pots, and we have some pots already laying around, so it's not really going to cost us anything to try it. It's just something new and fun for us to try out in the garden. And last but not least is our asparagus patch. Now this is over in the berry garden, not in the vegetable garden. But we did plant this patch a few years ago and it should be producing by now, but something mysteriously killed our patch. So I'm going to have to find some new seeds and start a new asparagus patch, because once you plant it, it'll feed you for life. Okay, so I've got our checklist here of things we're planning on growing this year and a bag of seeds that we have kept from previous years. So we're going to see which seeds we already have and which ones we're going to need to order. So this might take a little bit. I'm going to use some movie magic and fast forward to what we have checked off and what we need. Okay, I've got the sorting done. These are the ones that I'm not using this year. These are the ones that we're going to be drawing from this year. I've checked most of these off. All I still need to order is carrots because I like a special variety called Scarlet Nantes. And we need some more sunflower seeds because our chickens ate all the ones we had. And we need peanuts because we've never done peanuts before, but we're going to try peanuts in a pot this year. So that about does it for our garden seed checklist for now. I'm going to order the rest of these online off camera, and I will see you guys in the next video.